Hey friends, Steve Guttenberg here, and I am the Audiophiliac, and today the question is, why do most high-end systems sound so bad? Before I get to that though, at the end of the video, I'm going to do a quick music review, so stay tuned to the end. So anyway, yeah, I've been talking to my friends and we're saying, it's amazing when you get to hear high-end systems at shows or even in people's homes. Most of the time, three-quarters of the time, they don't really sound like you listen to $50,000 worth of audio, $100,000 or more, and you go, I don't know. It should be good. I mean, it's good stuff, but it doesn't sound good. And I'm trying to think of why that is so. I mean, if you took all the stereophile Class A recommended components, you took a Class A speaker and a Class A amplifier and a Class A preamplifier and a Class A DAC or a Class A turntable and a Class A cartridge, you mash all those things together and put them in your room, it doesn't mean you're going to have good sound, because it's how they work together is the question. It's not like if you just put all really good ingredients together in the bowl, you'll wind up with a great tasting meal. No, because you have to know what you're doing, you have to know what you're looking for, you have to have some degree of taste and understanding and hearing to know if, when you assemble these things, whether they sound good. And I think one of the main culprits with poor sounding systems in people's homes is they bought these systems piecemeal. One time they bought a speaker, then 2 years later they bought an amplifier, and it's not a cohesive system. They didn't sit down with somebody who knew more than they did and said, let's make a really good sounding system. They just said, oh man, this is getting really good reviews, this cable, I'm going to get that, and look at that DAC, it's amazing, I'm going to get that. Yeah, but it doesn't always work together, and usually it doesn't. It's like saying I'm going to put a Ferrari engine, it's a really great engine, in my pickup, and then no, it's the whole car, and in this case it's the whole hi-fi that makes it work or not. And you gotta know. You have to know. Or if you don't know, and if the only things you know come from reading reviews of individual pieces, because it's rare to read a review of an entire system. And even if someone reviewed an entire system, they reviewed it in a 25 by 40 foot room, and you live in a closet, it doesn't really relate to your experience. So you need to find someone who knows what the hell they're doing and how pieces actually work together. These things used to happen more commonly in stores, in brick and mortar stores, because the people that worked in stores, like I did for 16 years, I knew gigantically more than John Atkinson or Harry Pearson at the Absolute Sound and Atkinson at Stereophile, because they reviewed one thing at a time, while I got to hear a huge amount of systems plugged in together and taken apart and here in people's homes. My experiences were much deeper than anybody who writes about audio when I was working in a store, because I got to hear all of this stuff all the time on a daily basis. So I really knew it, and I really knew it in different environments, which is the question. If you hear things in isolation, like this is a really good DAC, this is a really good tone arm, it's not as meaningful as saying I've heard that in many, many different combinations. That's where it matters. That's where knowledge comes from. And of course, the ability to hear and understand when something sounds good. It's not really a measurable thing, in my opinion. I'm sure some of you will disagree. Anyway, so there's the answer. Most very expensive systems that I've heard, and you've probably heard, not that great, because there wasn't enough thought that went into putting together those systems. Sad, but true. It's the way it is in 2018. Now, as for the music review of the day, it's this guy, Kid Koala. I don't think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but anyway, this record, 12 Bar Blues. So Kid Koala is like a mix master guy. He's just mixing and mashing all sorts of things together. And I have another record of his I couldn't find, but this one is the first one I bought. And it's really great. It's a sound record. I don't mean an audiophile sound. I mean a guy who really loves sound, who loves manipulating and mashing it together and mashing together blues and slowing it down so it's just kind of grinding and deep. Bass is really deep on this record. It's a visceral recording but it's in no way natural. But I always have a strong reaction to it, and people that I play this for, most people are really moved by it if they're open to manipulated sound. As I said, this is not a natural or audiophile sounding recording. It's just somebody who is deep into sound, into making original sounds. In this case, sourced from blues, so you can't get more primal than that. Anyway, check it out, 12 Bar Blues, Kid Koala. And this ends this exciting chapter of the Audiophiliac Daily Show. Come back often. It is daily, as I like to say, and I'll see you soon.